All right, all right. What's up, guys? The last day of Colorado Springs Comic-Con. You guys doing all right? All right, excellent, excellent, excellent. So I want to thank Louis for giving us some of our minutes. I'm just going to give you a couple of others. I'm going to ask a couple of questions of our panelists that are coming out here. But then I'm going to open it out to you guys. You see that we have our mic there, so I'm going to let you guys know when you guys can head over there and begin to line up. Other than that, you guys ready to have some fun? All right. So without further ado, I am going to bring out our panelists. First up, can I get Trevor Fehrman? All right. Can I get Jason Lee? Can I get Ethan Suplee? And last but not least, can I get Brian O'Halloran?
I think you got to turn them on.
Hello. Just got to press the button there.
Just push it up.
Yeah.
Check. Here we go.
There we go.
So I've been told by management this is going to have to wrap up kind of quickly. I believe this will be a detention center within the end of the day. So they're going to be putting cages in here in a minute. Does this not look like a fucking holding cell? Like what? Like really? Out of all the rooms in this entire building, let's put them where we would put the drunks. So in which case, I brought my own beer for that purpose. All right.
Excellent.
Carry on.
Prepared, sir. You came prepared. So just to hit the ground running, gentlemen, here we are, last day of Colorado Springs. How has the weekend been, gentlemen?
Good.
Short and sweet. I love it.
You never shut up at your table, but here you're like, good. I'm just good.
Ethan?
Yes, good. Also good.
All right.
Slightly elevated heart rate from the
I love it,
elevation.
Barry. Okay.
That's it. That's all I got.
All right, excellent. I love it. Succinct. But just in general, guys, honor to be up here with you all. Incredible bodies of work, respectively, between all of you. With all the anniversaries that we have, whether we're talking about the 30th anniversary of Clerks, we just passed that. We're here the 30th anniversary of Mallrats, and we're coming up on some anniversaries as well. So congratulations, Trevor. It'll be 20 years next year for Clerks 2.
Holy shit.
I know. And in a couple of years, 30 years for Chasing Amy. So, just in general, thinking back to the beginning of this universe, this unique universe, can you talk about what was there something specific right at the beginning that made you know that this universe was something special, or did that epiphany come as you were doing more films within this unique universe?
Well, the first time I saw Muse's scrotum, I said to myself, I'll never be the same.
Which was a regular thing, by the way, just so you know. Jay would be that type of dude who would run around and goof on, and you'd be sitting at somewhere like at a couch or something. The next thing you know, on your shoulder, it's like, what the? And it's like, oh, fuck, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Oh, and fair warning, by the way, this is an 18 and over kind of conversation. We forgot to say that in the beginning, so if you
Rating
don't want to...
MA.
Yeah,
there
if you
go.
don't want to have a long conversation on the ride home, now is the time to leave. Otherwise, like, so what about snowballing? What does he mean? And I guarantee you there's always one in the audience like, so about the donkey show. So,
Wait, Brian,
you've been fair warned.
Brian, what's snowballing?
Yeah, exactly. Well, you weren't in the first one,
I don't know
so there you go. Jay would do that. And so Kevin's like, one day I'm going to fucking put that in a script. And then thus comes Clerks 2, and he's doing the full Buffalo Bill. And he's like, I can't do that. He's like, you do it all the time. Yeah, but not in front of film. But he pulled it off, so to speak, perfectly.
Cool. Yeah. Ethan?
I had seen Clerks in LA when it came out. There was a place called the Lemley Sunset 5. And it was sort of like an art house kind of indie theater on Sunset and Crescent Heights. I saw Clerks there. Everybody in LA was talking about Clerks. And then so when the auditions came up for Mallrats, everybody knew that it was by the guy that did this like the black and white 16 millimeter film Clerks that everybody was talking about. So to get into that world, it only took the one film for Kevin to sort of stake his claim and make sure, make everybody, feel his presence, just that one film. And so we all wanted to get in on Mallrats because it was by the guy that did Clerks. And then it just grew from there and, it became its own universe.
Ethan?
The first time I realized that we were a community of sorts, I think I was sexually assaulting Brian in a basement.
That's true.
So that was you.
The movie. Funny enough, it's a movie called Vulgar, so he did sexually assault me.
Yeah.
In a film. Proud of that film, actually.
Which is also in the View Askewniverse.
It's the View
branch of
Askewniverse.
yeah.
It's a very odd version of the View Askewniverse. Written, directed by Brian Johnson, if you're a fan of the Tell 'em Steve Dave podcast or Comic Book Men. And he is actually the real-life inspiration of Randall. Like, Kevin and Brian Johnson worked at the Quick Stop and the RST Video, and Brian would just leave the video store and lock it up and so about blah blah blah, and Kevin would be like, what? You got to go back to the store, man. He's like, well, fuck them, and that's where the inspiration of Randall came from, was that. So if you watch the first Clerks, you see that animation of a clown come in as a clown outfit, go behind a dressing screen while this little kid is playing with a ball, and then comes out in a bustier, fishnet stockings, and party hat and stuff. That was their beginning of their logo of their films in the very beginning. And so it was on the poster, and Kevin had a big giant blow-up poster of the original Clerks with that logo of Vulgar the Clown on the poster. And Brian and Kevin were just sitting there going what? And Brian was like, what do you think this guy's story would be? And Kevin's like, I don't know, why don't you write it? And thus came Vulgar the Clown, the movie. And the first edition of that, the first draft of that script was vile. I mean vile. Where halfway through I'm like, what? And I called him wait a minute. When you gave me this script, you said, Brian, that you were thinking of me when writing this? I was like, yeah, what's the problem? There's feces in this. You have people shoving feces in my face. It's gonna be brownies. I'm like, it's not the point. It's fucking disturbing. But yeah, it's an offshoot. So yes, that's when he discovered, I think we have a universe here.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That was the universe.
Awesome. And speaking of Kevin, with this View Askewniverse, can you talk about what qualities you enjoy about working with him? Because obviously, you guys wouldn't have worked with him as many times as you have if there aren't certain traits or qualities that you enjoy as a collaborator.
Well, he has serious dirt on me. That's why I'm.
Do tell.
It's really serious.
Perhaps it's the same.
Jason,
perhaps it's different.
what do you
Repeat that? Sorry.
Sure, yeah. So I was saying, are there any traits or qualities that Kevin has in working with him that you enjoy? Because obviously you wouldn't have worked with him as many times as you have if there aren't certain qualities that you enjoy in working with him.
Well, I mean, on a basic level, it's sort of just reuniting with friends. There's a camaraderie there. There's a certain energy. And then once you're used to it, you know what to expect. And Kevin's really, really chill. And he just kind of if you come prepared and you have everything memorized, you run through it, it's locked in. He's really, really easygoing. It becomes kind of second nature. And there's a comfort in that. And so it's kind of like returning to camp or returning to hanging out with your friends at a reunion. And then, it's a bunch of dialogue to memorize usually because Kevin likes to write and talk a lot. And so there's a lot of, prep time. But if you come prepared, Kevin's usually really, really laid back and cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Absolutely, his writing is the thing. And I reiterate, everything that Jason just said is 100%. But also, he literally could be like, hey, can you get to the 42nd Street Times Square train station stop at around 4 a.m.? We're shooting something. I'm like, I'm there. Because number one, it's going to be fucking hilarious. Number two, I know we're going to have a good time. And number three, like, it is that kind of summer camp kind of thing where kids from all these other schools get for 4 weeks be at this camp and do a really memorable stuff. And then after the production wraps, we all go back to our respective schools, so to speak. And it's that kind of feel, like, look what we made that summer, or look what we made and the fact that we get to have these memories saved on film is just a lot of fun. And we've been blessed to work with such a prolific writer who has such a great knack for dialogue. And yes, is it wordy? Absolutely. Is it words that when you went to your English class and was like, we're doing a test today, like, I'm never going to use this word. What the fuck is etiquette? It's like, well, it's to be behaved. I'm like, oh, fuck that shit. And yet he could throw fucking highbrow words in it and then say at the same time, pussy troll. It's like in a blink of an eye, and it's not a problem. So it's a lot of fun, and Muse is always the court jester that keeps everything fun and light and off camera. Like, he was the one organizing like dollar days or making our one grip. What we were going to pay him like $700 to eat a gigantic cruller on Clerks 2.
I don't remember that.
Remember? It was like a big bear claw.
Oh, I do remember that now. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Delivery on the spot in the panel.
Beer and coffee.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
I said soy!
Well, I'll have you guys line up if you guys have any questions. Feel free to begin to line up here at the mic. But I guess the next one that I would have is with this universe for a lot of you, your acting careers began with this universe. So what parts in starting this universe, skill set wise, do you feel that you took with you and you continue to have with you to this day? In terms of like your actor toolbox.
You've really gone fucking James Lipton on this fucking interview, haven't you? Are we getting what are the words you like to hear when you approach the pearly gates? Come on, let's hear it. You.
I love
what skill set did you get out of working with Kevin?
I think just do what you want. Like
freedom. Yeah.
Well, no, like if you're making something, like just do it for yourself, kind of. It was just I don't think Kevin cares. I don't think he cares to fit in. Like, he just does it his own way, and I like that about him. Does that make sense?
Cool. All right. Awesome.
Like, I just don't see the point in making art any other way, right? You're just trying to make it like somebody else's thing.
True, but he is like a word Nazi when it comes to his scripts.
Yeah, he's an awful human being.
Like it's
interpersonally,
it's a written on the page kind of thing. Like, it's on the page. Like, I remember him telling a story about Ben and Matt. They had just won for Good Will Hunting, and they're on the set of Dogma, and they did the take. And then Ben's like, I think we should do it. And he gave him a take, and he was like, "Listen, Golden Boy, stick to the script."
He is very strict about his writing.
Yeah.
Yes. Go ahead. No. Go ahead.
What was your guys' favorite lines in all the movies that you have done with Kevin Smith?
You dumb bastard.
That's a solid answer.
Yeah, that is a solid answer.
Eye contact.
Listen, I've been doing this now 31 years with him, and I get lines. I get people who quote the whole movie back to me, and so I'm like, did I really say that? I'm like, yes, you did. It was minute 42, seconds 15. I'm like, oh, it's not the Bible. Relax. But there's the common ones that everybody wants to hear. There's the, I'm not supposed to be here today. And try not to suck any dick on the way through the parking lot. I get fans like, do you get sick of hearing like I'm not supposed to be here? I'm like, look, at least I'm not Marilyn Gigliotti who gets screamed, try not to suck any dick on the way to the parking lot. I always like Elias's "Sorry, Jesus" is always a fun one for me.
Yes, indeed.
What's up, guys? Hey, so you guys look.
Throw me the idol, I give you the whip. No,
Don't
go.
have the idol.
Oh,
but
shit.
I do have the Shankar stone.
Ah, right on.
But, so you guys had a lot of fun on all the sets, like Clerks, Clerks 2, Dogma, et cetera, et cetera. I want to know, were there any pranks played on set? And if there were, what was the most just fucking iconic one, just legendary?
I got pranked pretty hard by Kevin, and I think, so it was just a connecting shot in Clerks 2. I'm just supposed to be like mopping the floor.
Okay.
And this should have taken 10 seconds. And so I'm mopping the floor, and Kevin's like, mop different. And I'm like, what? And so I changed my mopping position. I keep mopping it. And multiple times, this has been a while, so I'm sort of piecing the memories together, but multiple times I think he comes from the circus, physically arranges my hands, and is like, you know, like in a Ghost when he sort of Swayze'd me and like pushing the mop around. And then, yeah, it took me about 5 minutes to realize he was just fucking with me. Oh, no, I'm sorry, I didn't. No, that's not the whole story. I didn't realize he was fucking with me until months later.
Right. Oh, jeez.
That's right. We were shooting, we were at some event where we were screening the movie, and I was up on stage with him, and I was telling this story to a room full of people, and I was like, I swear to God, if I didn't know better, I'd say you were fucking with me. And then he just had this like mischievous look on his face, and I was like, you son of a bitch. So yeah, he got me good.
The slow burn to the month later reveal.
Yeah, that's
Kind of a good prank.
What'd you got?
On
Sorry,
Mallrats, this was not in the script. Shannon had just stopped doing 90210, I think, or like the year before, something like that. And Kevin said, okay, on this one, she's going to come up, say, oh, yeah, it's a sailboat. And you look at her and you say, Brenda? So that was her character on 90210. And I was like, and she knows that, right? And he was like, yeah. She had no idea. And she was actually pissed. Because she thought I just ad-libbed that.
So when you see it in the movie where she goes, Dick, that's Shannon saying that.
And I had
it was
to
like
go
perfect for
apologize.
camera.
And Kevin was like, you better say sorry to her.
God rest her soul. She was awesome. There was one that Jay did on Clerks 2 that's like is the most epic one to me. So we took over an old Burger King to make the movies, and next door was a Days Inn. So instead of renting a whole bunch of trailers for actors to lay in and blah, 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 they took over the Days Inn. And it was one of those ones where you open the door to your room and you're outside, like right there, right? So we had
It's
the second
typically how
floor.
doors work, just for the record.
Yeah. No, but I mean, you could be at a Days Inn where you open the room and you're in a hallway. I'm trying to set the picture.
You win.
It was a motel.
Get with it, Brian. Come
Exactly. So Jay had the room that was the end of the hall on the second floor, where his door, if you walked, you saw into his room, kind of a thing, right? And everybody else had the other rooms. So Rosario was a couple of rooms away, and I was next to hers, and then another. And she would come out, and we'd all just hang out on the railing of the patio, kind of overlooking everything. And he'd be like, Rosario! And we'd see him sitting on the edge of his bed looking at the TV. Come here, Rosario. She's like, what, Jay? I want to ask you something. All right. So she starts walking down, and she's like, what? He's like, no, come here. On here. And it's the scene she had done the movie Alexander. And there's a scene where she's kind of getting it on really hard with, what's his name from Ireland?
Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell, like big old everything going on. And he's like, so let me ask you, he hits play. During this scene, she's like, oh, fuck Jay.
Fuck you, Jay.
Now, today, he would be Me Too'd. But at that time, it was fucking hilarious. And that's the thing about Rosario. Rosario is just such a fucking down-to-earth. She's a nerd at heart. She works with comic book companies. She works with a comic book company that does a comic for her. And obviously, she's a Jedi now and everything else. And her goal is to be in every universe she can be in.
Oh, hell yeah.
So her next thing is she wants to be in the Star Trek universe at some point. So we'll see what happens. So. But that was the biggest prank I thought was always so fucking... Because he caught her twice. And I was like, Rosario, come on. Have you not learned already by now?
At what point do you not trust this?
Yeah. I think from that point, it's like, fuck off. Like, literally, he could have fucking had his cigarette drop and the bed sheets be on fire. And he's like, Rosario! I'm like, fuck you, Jay. No, it's probably lighting you got going on in there. I'm on fire!
Here's some gasoline.
Yeah, exactly. So that was the best prank I thought from that.
Awesome. Good deal, guys.
Thank you for your
Thank you. I
question.
appreciate it.
Thank you. And feel free if we have any other questions, but while we're waiting, I guess my question would be, and you guys were just mentioning Mallrats, please tell me there is some truth regarding what I understand was happening with car plates in terms of what was happening with that film. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this. Maybe you aren't privy to it. I guess.
Car plates?
Yeah, I guess from what I
License
understand,
plates?
yeah, the license plates that they were utilizing. They were placing, plates on other cars for for the purposes of the film in terms of the location. I don't know if you guys were privy to it or.
Well, what's
no.
the controversy? That happens all the time.
Well, no, because in terms of, from my understanding, the location, they were placing the plates there to signify, I guess, the
Jersey.
The
Well,
location
we
of
shot
the,
up in Minnetonka, Minnesota.
But I guess in some cases they weren't given the permission to do so, and they were still doing.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So
Yeah,
I
well-
don't know if you guys are privy to that story.
Yeah, I don't think it's a big fucking deal, but but yeah, that happens a lot. Where if you're going to do an exterior shot, it's probably when Jeremy and Jason are walking to the mall and they're all angry and they're in that parking lot with all the cars. Yeah, it's probably that. You had to do that because it's supposed to be the dirt mall on Route 1 in New Jersey.
Didn't they recently
Gotcha.
destroy the mall? Did they demolish it or something recently?
Eden Prairie Mall?
Yeah.
Still there.
No, the Eden Prairie Mall is still there. The dirt mall that the exterior is, US 1 Flea Market, that got destroyed literally within a few years of the film coming out. And it's now, funny enough, it's a giant multi-screen multiplex. So I was like, oh, well, that's kind of appropriate. But what did get obliterated within 2 weeks of wrapping was that McDonald's, the movies that we did in Clerks 2, was like crushed. So if we had any pickups, we were fucked.
Wow.
And that's why in Clerks 3, we go to a different one actually in New Jersey to film the Clerks 3 one, to make it look like it was the same movies we were at.
Last year, I did the Comic-Con in Minneapolis, and somebody was in my line at my table, and I got chatting with him, and he said, "Oh, I'm from Eden Prairie. It's 30 minutes outside of Minneapolis, where you guys filmed Mallrats. I used to work at that mall, the Eden Prairie Mall." And he said, one day over the comm system, our walkie-talkies, we were given the report that a kid had gotten stuck on one of the escalators. Say it. I thought that was absolutely fantastic. He said it was true, it was real, and he laughed. They all laughed. I don't think they cared about the kid's state, physical state. They just all got a kick out of it because they all knew that Mallrats had filmed there.
Say the line. Everybody wants to hear it. Come on, say the line. That kid, come on.
That kid is back on the escalator again.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys. So my question is for Jason. So what people might not know is before Chasing Amy, before Mallrats, you were a professional skateboarder. You skated for Blind.
Yes.
You co-own Stereo Skateboards. I'm just curious, you mentioned earlier that you saw Clerks and you wanted to get into working with Kevin. What really drove you to want to become an actor outside of the skateboarding?
Well, I liked movies a lot, and I was really starting to get into movies more at like 21, 22 years old, and that was VHS, of course, so I was buying a lot of VHS tapes, and, I would often just kind of play the same movies a lot that I, grew really fond of, and
You also shot a lot of stuff on Super 8.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, in the skateboarding days. But I liked the world of like cameras and filmmaking and movies and characters and stuff. And there was one Coen Brothers film in particular that I really liked a lot that I was watching on sort of a regular basis, and that's a film called Barton Fink with John Turturro and John Goodman. And I remember responding really favorably to Steve Buscemi's character as Chet the Bellboy. And I was like, man, I want to get into this world and kind of see if I can't play like fun, weird characters like this Buscemi character. And I had seen Raising Arizona, which we kind of ripped off for My Name is Earl a little bit. And so I just liked that world a lot and was genuinely curious to see what it would be like to kind of be on the other side. Awesome. So I was just kind of driven based on that kind of curiosity and being inspired by movie making.
That's hilarious that your original aspiration was like, one day I can be like Steve Buscemi's bellboy. Yeah. if I play my cards right.
Yeah, he's a great actor.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Awesome. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Hey guys, I'm Phil. I watched Clerks 3 last night. Heartbreaking. Wonderful movie. Any thoughts on any further sequels to any of the other films that you've worked on with Kevin coming out? I know
Fucking Mallrats 2,
Please,
bro.
for the love of God!
All right.
I
just want you to see the fucking sailboat.
I hear ya. So from the latest I've talked with Kevin about is it's it's Jay and Silent Bob's Store Wars. Since they own a cannabis shop and there's competition, it's pretty funny from what I've been told. And then, to be honest with you, with the passing of Shannon, that put a little hole in the script that Kevin is working on to fill in again. From what he told me, he's in talks with another legendary 90s female icon to step into a role, not take over for Brenda, but to, or rather, Shannon, but her character name. What was her character? Renee. Not to be Renee, but to be someone of that type. So that it's allegedly supposed to be Jane Silent Bob movie, then Mallrats 2, and then we go from there. But Kevin fucking suffers from this crazy disease called premature enunciation. Unfortunately, there's no pill for it. Because I remember he got us all to hold up number 2.
He loves to announce films that he hasn't even started
Correct.
writing.
Like we all held up number. We're doing fucking Mallrats 2, including the late great Stan Lee. Like, and he's like, "Rrr," you know what I mean? And like, and then stop it until
We're
the
supposed to do Mallrats 2 like
5 years
ago.
like 5 or 6 years ago. We did this type of. We're doing it, and then it's going to be a movie, and then it was like, oh wait, it's a 10-episode TV series. Oh wait, we're back to a movie again, and he has both versions of that, by the way. So. Until that type of stuff gets done, it was back in the day where he was smoking a lot of weed.
One day I will be screaming at children in a mall again.
Yes, guaranteed.
Thank you, guys.
Yes.
Afternoon. I got some business near the Quick Stop coming up in a couple of weeks. Other than being polite.
Are you foreclosing on the Quick Stop? What are you doing?
No,
the way you said, like, I have
no.
business with the Quick Stop.
No, near it.
Oh, okay.
Other than being polite while I'm there and not reading in the bathroom. Is there anything I should pick up or I should do while I'm there or buy, or what do you think?
Oh, if you're in the Jersey Shore area in general, go to the Quick Stop, obviously. Get yourself, if you don't smoke, at least buy a pack of cigarettes. And then have some, like Kevin sign them. And then to get a Gatorade and be like, we're all out. It's so funny because the porn section has now been replaced over the years because I heard that the internet has it for free from what I've been told.
Yeah.
So I've read.
So I've read. So now it's all just like head shop stuff. So it's like pipes and papers and stuff like that. But go to Kevin's in Red Bank. You got to go to Kevin's shop. He's moved it the past couple of years to a bigger location. And Mike Zabsig is him and his wife run it. It's great stuff. A lot of memorabilia in there, including the actual Buddy Christ is there as well. But otherwise, after that, like the town of Red Bank is a great restaurant town. Go to the Jersey Shore. I don't know if you're a fan of that fucking bullshit show, but the Jersey Shore in general, Seaside Heights, it's fun. Have you ever seen the ocean?
I have, yeah.
Okay, because there's a lot of people in the Midwest who have never seen it. So, but that's it. Go to New York.
You could go to this part of a road when Jeff was driving me to set one day. He was like, "This is where my friend's mom was killed by a horse."
It was so funny. So we're shooting Clerks 3, and Jeff's like, "I need a rental car," and the production's like, "Absolutely," and stuff like that. And he didn't, right? So it was like fucking driving Miss Daisy, the two of them, every time we would get to come to set and leave set. He was like, "Oh, okay, Hulk, it's time to go back to the hotel,"
Yeah, Jeff drove me around. It was great.
Yeah, it was hilarious. And you were insisting on sitting in the back. It was so weird.
Yeah. I like to stretch my legs out. No, it was like going around with a little tour guide. It was really funny. It was like, there's he showed me his boat, the Sea Tiger. Now it's the Sea Tiger.
So Jeff worked on a clamming and fishing boat for his young adult life, and it's a fucking hard work. And they'd go out, and they were usually like charter boats, and you'd help the fishermen with their fish. But he also worked on a commercial boat as well, and it was fucking hard work. He was telling me.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it was. I've never done any hard work in my life, so I can't relate to it directly. But I'm an actor, so
yeah.
Yeah.
But you're a coder as well, so you're still not doing that physically hard work.
No.
Yeah.
I have soft pink hands.
Yeah, and they're not going to talk about the company, but you were just added to the AI team of this company, from what I've been told.
Yeah, kind of. I'm working on an AI shopping assistant right now.
Oh, okay.
For our site, but
It'd be great if they used your voice as the assistant's voice.
you're gonna buy that?
Yeah, exactly. Just be so judgy. Thanks for the question.
Thank you.
Hey.
Hello.
So this is a question for all four of you. Looking back at Clerks, how do you think it voiced the generation from that time, and how do you think that would compare to the generation of today?
I like diametric opposites. I mean, yeah, one of them is candid and the other one is the opposite of that.
I don't know. Do people still go to malls?
Fair point. Oh my God, such a fair point. Exactly. Like I could just order this on fucking, Instacart or Amazon or Target Delivers or stuff like that.
Yeah, I've had to go to a mall recently and it was empty.
Yeah.
There were no people there. Certainly not kids hanging out there.
The Mall of America still does business. I'm always surprised by that, though, when I go back. I'm from Minnesota, so I go there.
Yeah. But I liked it because Brody in Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, they go visit him. He has a mall location, and he actually talks about it in that, where the kids don't shop anymore in the mall or even hang out in a mall anymore. So when it comes to what we did as Gen Xers and what we spoke about as Gen Xers compared to what kids are going through today, or just 20-somethings are going through today, it's a literally bizarro world of opposites of what's going on. Thank God I grew up before social media where I was, I'm a nerd and bullied and stuff like that, but at the same time, now it's like times 1 million. Like, you can fucking be destroyed on the internet. That's why when Jay and Silent Bob was like, we're gonna fucking go after the people on the internet in the other Jay and Silent Bob movies is just so fucking hilarious. But that's good about Kevin, too. He pivots to that type of shit, and he makes things more relevant. Like, when we brought up the NFTs in Clerks 3, to this day I'm still like, is that still a fucking thing? Isn't it? And just like Bitcoin, I'm like, that's like Monopoly. It's like a total pyramid scheme, right? Like you invest early, you make sure the value goes up, and then you get the fuck out before people realize, like, that's a scam, But that's the old guy in me, like, back in my day, Ford builds cars. I see a car on the road, that's what they build. Now it's like, no, it's this coin. There's a dog on it. It's awesome. I'm like, what? How is that? What's that different than my Monopoly set?
Hey, Brian, what's really in that can?
Magic.
Is that the new cocaine beer?
Kevin is here in spirit.
Cocaine beer. That would be the worst
Actually,
beer
that's
ever.
a good idea, yeah.
That would be the worst beer ever, because then you'd be like, I need another. Oh my God, am I done with that one? Where did I leave the last one? Oh my God, did we get a keg of it? Oh my God, what are we doing? Like, that would be the worst beer ever. Because beer is supposed to be like, I feel great. Just like when they're like, oh, when you smoke weed, people are going to have car. No one wants to get into a car after smoking weed. Why do you think pizza delivery gets fucking higher when people smoke weed? Because they don't want to leave. They're just like, hey, man, slow down. I'm doing 15. I know, slow down.
But Jason, your thoughts.
I know.
Your thoughts.
I have no idea where the fuck I am now.
We lost him. We
this
lost him. We lost
Louisiana?
him, guys. We lost him.
I know, right? It feels like Louisiana Detention Center here. Again, that's called a callback in comedy, by the way. Thanks for the question.
Thank you.
Yes.
I got a question for Brian. When you appeared on the floor, how was that?
Oh, so competing on the floor. I had a lot of fun. It was a show aired on Fox, hosted by Rob Lowe. It's a lot of fun. You can catch it on Hulu, season 3. Season 4 starts on September 25th.
Yeah, I saw you on it. That's why I was asking.
What do you want to know? Because that's a long fucking conversation. So for those who haven't seen it, it's a great competition show. There's 100 players. You all have a specialty topic. The producers thought it'd be kind of funny to give me convenience store items. They asked me like 5 topics, like, what would you think you'd be a fucking expert on? I'm like, hockey. I'm a huge hockey fan, right? But did not know that someone from season 2 had already picked hockey, and they're not going to repeat categories. And then I was like, Comic-Cons, because I'm like 28 weekends of the year, I'm at one. Then I was like, science fiction. And then I was like, comics. And then I was like, finally, I was like, and I've been known to hang out at a convenience store. And they were like, John, that's it. So it was funny, the first episode, they announced, hey, this season, we have an Olympic diver on the show. Like, we have a couple from The fucking Bachelor, and we have a Harlem Globetrotter, and then the game started and the episode went. The fucking internet blew, like, do they not know who you are? And I'm like, relax. I'm coming on the next episode. Relax, it's gonna be fine. But it was a kind of a thing. I was approached by a casting agent who I know for quite a few years, and she goes, "Hey, do you mind being on a reality competition show?" And I said, "I am not getting naked or afraid, so you can fuck that shit right here and now." She goes, "No, there's this new show. There was only one season at the time that Rob Lowe hosts." And she said the name, called The Floor. I didn't hear the word The Floor. I had been watching The Cube, hosted by Dwayne Wade. So I binged the fucking Cube, going, oh, it's like you got to bend down, you have a partner, you're doing this thing on a digital floor. And I'm like, ooh, my girlfriend's tiny and wiry. This is going to be awesome. And so a week later, she goes, oh, the first Zoom call with the producers, I'm setting it up for Tuesday, whatever it was, for The Floor. I'm like, what's The Floor? I'm like, that's the fucking show I was just talking to you about. I'm like, oh, so then I binged that whole first season. It's a flashcard game, to be honest with you. There's 100 contestants. It comes down to one. The one who wins all the floor wins $250,000. But anybody who wins the most pieces of the floor each episode wins $20,000. Yes. So I was able to win 6 weeks in a row. Wow. Nice. Yeah. If I could impress Rob Lowe about that, because he was like very impressed, like I'm doing it for the union. We're in the same union. And he was cool. I made reference to his Youngblood hockey movie. He was like, oh, and from then on it was fun. But it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I had a lot of weird topics to tackle, but I held my own.
$20,000 must be upwards of $10,000.
That is.
How did you win 6 in a row and not win the whole thing?
Because I suck. No, what it was my final topic was fairy tales and legends, right? My opponent got all the Disney fucking things that they made movies about, and I was like, Tolstoy's fucking blah, 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 this German yada, yada, and I was just like, pass. And when you pass, you lose 3 seconds of your time. You start with 45 seconds to guess everything. Like, I guess right, then they go. If they guess right, they go. Then I guess right, and they go. It's a really fun, fucking easy game, to be honest with you.
Did anybody else win 6 weeks in a row?
No, I actually hold the record.
How did you not win? It's rigged.
Yeah, I hold. No, it's not rigged at all. There's like federal laws and shit. Like, you cannot talk to Rob Lowe. Like, he never hung out with us because you don't want to have any.
You guys remember that movie Quiz Show with Rafe?
Correct. That's exactly what it's based about.
Yeah, that was cool.
But thank you for the question.
Yes.
I appreciate that.
Go ahead. Yes, sir.
Sorry, guys, coming up here again, but this one's a little bit. This one's a little bit more on the serious side. So
A little closer to the mic there.
Gotcha. Sound better? Yeah. All right. So this one's a little bit more on the serious side. So when it comes to the movies, after doing a lot of my research through everything, it seems like Dogma was the one that got the most kickback, gave you guys the most hell. I kind of wanted to know, what was one of the more crazy, serious things that you guys had to deal with because you guys participated in that movie.
I had to stand in Kevin's kitchen and have a full body cast made of myself for the Shit Demons costume. and this was in the early 2000s. Late 90s still.
Yeah.
So nowadays they've really figured that technology out, and they can do a body cast very quickly.
Or just scan you.
Yeah.
Right.
And back then, in the Stone Age, it took a long time. They would, tubes coming out of your nose, straws so you could breathe. You can't move. And it took like 45 minutes for everything to dry, and you're just standing there. That's what I had to go through,
That's
sir.
fucking nightmarish.
That was my trial of fire. And then, when it came to shooting, Kevin was like, you're going to be pretty miserable in this outfit. Why don't we just make it CGI and you can do the voiceover?
Wow. I did not know that. Did you call Bill Paxton to ask him how he tolerated being cast as Chet in Real Genius?
There's a really funny clip I think you can find on YouTube of when the evangelicals were like protesting Dogma,
right.
And Kevin, to prove that these people didn't know what they were even talking about, just went as himself to join the protests.
Yeah.
That was so funny. I thought that, yeah, because like his whole point was like that you don't even know what the movie's about. It might have been protests that were protesters before the movie had even come out.
Yeah.
Like they were just pre-protesting.
Well, that's the Catholics for you. They're protesting that, but the stuff with the priests, that's okay. But let's protest the imaginary movie shit that you didn't get to see. I was raised Catholic. I was an altar boy, just like Kevin, in the sense, so I knew exactly where he was coming from with his point of view, and thought it was just so you know, the Christian, whatever it was, the coalition. It was literally one dude. Like he said, I have an organization. You were one dude, but he was able to get on TV and protest and stuff. And as the devil himself, Harvey Weinstein, once said, every press is good press. Doesn't matter.
He got corrected on that point.
Yeah.
Damn right.
Woo. And speaking of which, and he once the movie was being protested, and Disney, who had owned the original rights to it, sold it. Harvey himself bought the rights to the movie and then distributed it. So it wasn't until literally recently that Paramount bought the rights. Because Harvey was asking for way too much fucking money for what the rights are really for that film. Okay. And then finally they went back and forth, and he's incredibly desperate for money right now.
Why? Is there something going on?
Yeah, it's, I don't know, something.
Something happened?
Not Harvey.
They sold it to Paramount, ponied up the money, bought it, and then Kevin took it on tour with a huge, 17-hour Q&A or something, whatever it was. I think he quoted the Bible every verse and chapter. And then to make the money back for the purchase, and then we're doing a steelbook and Blu-ray of a cleaned up, blown up version of Dogma with a new commentary track. I believe the release date is sometime in December. But as far as personally, did we get affected? No. What do we care? Like, seriously, I didn't like people boo, you were in that blasphemous movie, because everyone went, that's ridiculous. There's no such thing.
So the thing is that I grew up in a hardcore Christian family, private Christian school, insanity.
You turned out all right.
Yeah, a little bit. But, so the thing is, though, is that I remember I was, it was 98 or 99 when Dogma was released. So I remember being in class, and one of the teachers there, who was kind of, we had to go to chapel every single day, and he was just like, pretty much, you're going to hell if you see this movie. And so the first fucking thing I did is I talked to my stepbrother, and I'm just like, can we go see this in theaters? And my stepbrother was just like, yes, let's go. And so 9-year-old me is watching Dogma and just dying from it. But there was fucking uproar in my school from this movie.
Well, thank you for being an open-minded, independent, free thinker.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that. Question authority.
I appreciate it.
Thank you. Don't you think the shit that he did to Elias in Clerks 2 is way more heretical than anything in Dogma?
Shh, we're on a roll.
Oh, yeah, my bad.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're back.
She's
Hello.
I know, you guys are gonna get sick of me. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
And I'm sorry, Mom. How many times did it take you not to laugh at saying, you never go ass to mouth?
Just like I talked about pre-warning you about things you don't want to hear.
Rated MA.
So there is the conversation in Clerks 2 about ATM, and you never go ass to mouth. And there's not just that one line. To be honest with you, when you work on any of the Kevin Smith movies, we all have table reads, we all get together, and there's just shit that forever is fucking hilarious, and you just break, you're in table reads and stuff. So you try to get that out of your system as much as you can before you get to camera. And it is what it is, to be honest with you. The thing that was nervous once was Clerks 2. We have comedians Wanda Sykes and Earthquake on our set, and we're talking about porch monkey, and we're saying the N-word, and then Jeff's going through every slur you can think of for people people of color, and that was kind of but both Wanda and Earthquake is all good and blah blah blah. And just so you know, everything Wanda and Earthquake said in that scene is all them. That's where we were the one time why do you let them say things that they're not in the script? And it's because they're professional fucking comedians. And if you have the deleted scenes or extra scenes on the Clerks 2 stuff, there is the full 11 minutes of them. And that's where we're on the other side of that camera going, waiting for cut. And then when cut happens, just like the day he did his cameo and he had his My Name is Earl mustache. We all thought about a funny fucking prank on him would be tell him he has to shave the mustache. And do you remember what you said in regards to that? I don't. He said, oh, I can't do that. This is my money maker.
That's damn true.
That's 100% true.
They pay real well for network TV.
But I gotta tell you, man, you had such a great fucking delivery. There was this I don't know, like fucking Burton kind of, like, you know, Burt Reynolds kind of fucking delivery. You walked in and I was like, what a great read on this character. That was one of my favorite fucking cameos. Besides, obviously, then Ben showing up going like, that's fucking non-hygienic. You know what I mean? That was another scene where I was like, oh, Ben's here in a brand new Maybach that was given to him as a gift from the dealer. And it was the only time we had like sushi as our catering. And then we shot him out like super early in the morning and he never even stuck around for lunch. And we're like, all right, thanks, Ben, for the sushi. This is awesome. Answer your original question. We laugh a lot.
Thank you.
See, I'm getting serious because now I'm on to my chai tea.
But you brought up My Name is Earl. Congratulations on that, by the way. I know we were talking about a whole bunch of anniversaries, but I mean, what, 20 years? 20 years. 20 years, wild. Yeah, for sure. So, you know, in talking about that, can you share, you were just mentioning a second ago of the difference of that between being in film. So are you, respectively, between you and Ethan, are you able to share, that experience of, doing television versus, doing independent film or being in that medium?
You definitely feel like you're making a TV show. There's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of money. It's a big budget. And the schedule is very, very strict because they're having to edit episodes every 5 days to air them. So the workload's really intense and it moves fast. But what I can say personally is I wouldn't have been prepared for My Name is Earl without doing Kevin's movies first.
How long were your days on that show? Because it was single camera, right?
Yeah, it was like 14-hour days.
And as a lead, I'm sure the hours are
like 2
crazy.
a.m.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like making a little movie every week, But yeah, all the Kevin stuff really prepped me for that.
Yeah, I worked on 2 4-camera sitcoms, and it was like Monday was like a half hour, and then you went home.
Oh, no, this was like 6 a.m. call times on Monday and wrapping at 2 a.m. on Friday. Yeah, a lot of work. But yeah, again, the Mallrats was like the best intro into that world of acting and movie making or TV making because it's, you go from kind of not doing much work at all to like having to memorize a lot of dialogue and show up and be prepared. And of course, all of that prepped me for what was to come later.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Awesome. And Ethan, I'm assuming you second that.
Yes.
I love it. Succinct. All right, so we only have time for one question, so no pressure.
Make it good.
No pressure. Go ahead.
No pressure.
What you got?
Okay, so I'm wondering, like, once you're kind of in the Kevin Smith movie universe, like every time he starts talking about a new project, you're like, oh, do you have like that phone call or that question to yourself, or like, what the fuck am I gonna play this time? Like Walrus, right? So then we're like,
I get that feeling when you're waiting to hear back from your oncologist.
I was wondering additionally if you have like a standing arrangement with your regular job of like, if Kev calls, I'm just gonna be out for a while.
I did actually do that for Clerks 3. I was just accepting a new job where I work now. And because we had an original script for Clerks 3 like 10 years prior or something like that.
Very dark.
And we were like, my memory is like we were like 3 weeks away from shooting it. I mean, like we were almost.
No, we were about a month and a half.
Okay, yeah. And then that fell through, obviously.
Yeah.
And so when I honestly just didn't believe that the second Clerks 3 script was going to happen, and so I just didn't bring it up to my manager who hired me. And then I got some kind of phone call about wardrobe, and I was like, Jesus Christ, is this actually going to happen? So I had to call him up and be like, so. I'm gonna have to miss the first 5 weeks of my job. It's like, is that all right? He was like, yeah, go for it. They're very cool about it.
Yeah. But did any of you like go, Jersey Girl, how the hell am I gonna fit into that? Or Walrus, like, when you hear him announcing something, or do you have like that moment of like?
We're definitely not like waiting. Like, well, when is Kevin gonna call again? Like, we're not the stalker girlfriend, or at least I'm not. And to be honest with you, I know Kevin makes choices of some movies. I always joke like, oh, were you in all of Kevin's movies, Kevin Smith movies? Like, I'm in all the good ones. And I jokingly say that because they're all great. But, I was like, well, it was either going to be Seth Rogen or me. And he went with Seth. What am I going to say? Which, by the way, was the start of his weed smoking. Just a little correlation. Just saying. But as far as like, whenever he calls me, like I said earlier, like he could call me and say, hey, I need you on the train station platform. I'll be there because I know it's going to be well written, it's going to be funny, and we're going to have a great time. Just like people like, he called me, he's like, you ready to play? We're going to do a Jay and Silent Bob movie in the fall. I'm like, yeah. Now, do I even know what I'm playing? No. Do I care? No, not really. Because whatever he's going to hand me, I'll be like, all right, this is what it is. I'm going to get to it, and we're going to do it. So, will it be Dante? I have no fucking clue. Will it be like a flashback scene? Will it be Grant Hicks? Will it be Gil Hicks from Mallrats? Will it be Sean Hicks from, which I named him as Sean Hicks from Chasing Amy? No idea. Doesn't matter. I could just be a guy going, here's your ticket. And I'd be like, all right, that's cool. That's fine with me. Just because it's always just a lot of fun. These guys will testify. Like, it's just fun and chill to be on any type of Kevin movie. So whatever he works on is fine. Like, he did the Lockdown with his son-in-law kind of show for a while. And I was like, well, that's because they're literally living together. So when we go, hey, I'll fly in and break protocol and, lockdown to come and be on the show. It is what it is. He'll call you when he knows what he wants out of you, and he'll call you.
All right. So round of applause for our panelists.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for coming out.